Look, K-Mag, it's a close call, mate. Yeah, no, the people are split. I don't know what to tell you, mate. It's America's team and you're not American. Yeah, you're right, I'm not, but I do a mean American accent. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we have the Austrian Grand Prix and, well, the vote between who's going to be next season, K-Mag or Crawford, one of the two, it is currently 50-50. It can't be split, obviously. So that begs the question, do we keep K-Mag and Crawford and get rid of Sargeant? Maybe that's the way out of this. But anyway, you can see there, K-Mag second in the championship, Sargeant is 10th. Now, the caveat to if we are going to have Crawford and somebody else in car one, it kind of has to be Sargeant, which means, I mean, we can't sack him and then he may not sign back for us. So yeah, it looks as though this could be what we have to the end of the year, and well, just keep voting if you haven't already, and we'll see what happens. Now, we can, as you see here, have a development point on Logan Sargeant, so we will go and stick that into cornering. Do we do that? Yeah, probably. That's his lowest attribute that we're trying to improve right now. So that is him. Crawford is doesn't have a point either. And yeah, and there's no one on staff. So there's not really much to catch you up on. We haven't got any new parts for the cars as of yet. It's only been sort of 4-day break between the race in Silverstone and this one. So yeah, not a chance for much to happen. Now, qualifying position, someone in the top 8 reached Q3, therefore that is fine. Fastest lap and a guaranteed position of 8th. Let's hope so, or else something's gone very wrong. And well, we need a finishing position. Someone scores points today, we get £1 million or so, and we need a car in the top 10 for a couple more races yet before we get our money on that one. The circuit info. We can see here that it is, let's have a look here. Red is sector 1, isn't it? Blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. It's a relatively short, it is a very short lap, but it's a relatively quick lap. Just the 2 traction zones out of turn, was it 2 and 3 or whatever they call them? I think there's actually some weird numbers in there. Top speed is important, and we know that that's not necessarily always our strength. 25 seconds for a pit stop, almost halved if it's under safety car, so we've got to remember that. It's a 1-stop. Yeah, that is for sure. Compound performance, the soft tyre is 5 or 6 tenths a second a lap faster, but not a huge difference, and the drop-off is minimal. So yeah, I wonder if you could do a soft to medium in this one. Last year's race, Sargeant 4th. If I remember correctly, he was brilliant here last year, and Magnussen 6th. Historic results, Red Bull win at the Red Bull Ring even, don't they? So let's hope we get a Sargeant masterclass like we did last season, and yeah, well, let's go and do this. So confirmation of the weather, it's going to be clear skies, partly cloudy, perhaps a qualifying. I'm going to do some free practice, and I will see you for qualifying 1 momentarily. Alright, so free practice is done. If we're going to have a quick look at how things went. Now, you'll notice some penalties here, most notably to Verstappen. Now, FP1, there was a red flag for a Norris crash, so it was a little bit disjointed, but considering the engine parts that we're using, they're getting quite tired at this point. They're getting quite old. So I think there's a lot of time to be made when we put the fresh things in. But we can see here FP2, K-Mag 14th, Sargeant 17th. And if we go and have a look at FP3, we can see K-Mag and Sargeant there in 14th and 16th, respectively. But like I say, I think it's not too bad. You can see we got some good setups there. We'll go and put in some fresh engine parts, and you can see here exactly how tired they are getting. So yeah, and I'm hoping Q1 shouldn't be a problem. It really shouldn't, and we'll just come back in a moment to confirm that. So indeed, no problem whatsoever. K-Mag 9th, Sargeant 11th, and yeah, all absolutely fine there. So we'll go and do Q2, and should be okay. Sargeant's maybe a little bit close. Alright, so here we go for our second run. Sargeant is indeed a little bit close. He is outside looking in 12th, K-Mag in 7th. Let's go and have a look and see what the sector times are looking like. No, only a yellow first sector for Sargeant as well. They are both on newer sets of tyres for this one as well. K-Mag has done a green first sector. Checkered flag is out. Sargeant, he needs to do a green sector here. He's down to 13th now. He's not. He needs to have a monster final sector, or else Sargeant's going to be starting. Well, he'll be out up a little bit, depending on penalties, I suppose. But we crosses the line, and it's green, but it is still 13th. K-Mag stays 7th. So confirmation of the Logan Sargeant elimination. 13th for him. He'll move up a couple of places here. The Alfa Romeos are getting quicker and quicker and quicker, aren't they? Alright, let's go do Q3 with K-Mag. Alright, K-Mag is coming around to start his lap. First run on used tyres was put him in 7th. He did get blocked a little bit as well. Now, I do need to say a big thank you to somebody who's increased their support on the channel membership. So, Vililoquent, thank you so much, mate. Greatly, greatly appreciated. There is a join button down below, or there's obviously the link to the Patreon in the description. If you enjoy the content you're able to, it is greatly appreciated. But, of course, it's not necessarily expected. Just keep watching those ads for me, which is tough right now because I've watched YouTube ads recently and a lot of those games that nobody, I mean, people must like them, but certainly not me. And, well, we're not getting any idea. It's a yellow second sector. We don't know how fast he's gone in the first sector, though. And K-Mag is currently 10th, which isn't ideal. Where is he going to be starting the Austrian Grand Prix from, though? He goes green, he goes 8th. Not ideal, though. Still disappointing. So he will move up with the penalty, hopefully anyway, the penalty to Verstappen, but even we needed to be making maximum of this opportunity, didn't we? Verstappen's going to be starting down the grid, and we've not done that really there. But we know we race better than we qualify. Let's have a look and see what sort of strategy options we have here. Hard to soft is probably the one, isn't it? Now, could you, it does beg the question, could you do medium to soft? I mean, you can't really, can you? If you're stretching it, it's just about doable. It is just about doable. I don't think it's worth it. There's not that much of a drop off of the tyres. So I think if we do that, can we, if we have a push on the hard tyre? I tell you what, if we push the hard tyre and then put the soft on, it'll get us there. And we might even get a nice little undercut. So I think I like that actually. So let's do that. And then we might even do the same thing with K-Mag. Could he, now if he does a medium, is he with a little bit better tyre life keeping? I don't think it's worth it. I think we're better off pushing on a hard tyre, aren't we? I think I like that better. Alright, let's see what we can do in the race. Alright, welcome back. Here we go. Where did Verstappen start? There's a Red Bull there. We'll have a look. Is that a Red Bull back there? Verstappen is 11th. So Verstappen is right with Logan Sargeant. He's on a medium tyre as well. So yeah, you'll see, I mean, obviously both drivers are pushing. We are on the ERS with both cars as well. It's about not quite a 50-50 split, but certainly fairly even between the hard and the medium. But I wonder, maybe some of the hard runners will put a soft on towards the end, but I don't think the medium runners are going to use a soft, no, they won't, will they? Or they'll stop again. They're going to be doing medium to hard, so they're going to have a tyre disadvantage over the course of the race. Now, Verstappen is cutting through the field quite quickly here, which is disappointing. You'd expect him to do that, to be honest. Let's see if we get a move done here on George Russell. It doesn't look like... Oh, there we go with the ERS. Straight past. Can we get Sargeant? If you want to run at the back of Verstappen, mate, I'd forgive you, and I'd just about give you to the end of the season as well. It looks like... Oh, Verstappen, what's happened to him there? Verstappen has just got absolutely no traction out of the corner. Well, that can't be just ERS, can it? Magnussen is currently working on the back of Alonso up there in 6th, so he's got past Gasly, which is a good thing because Gasly has looked quite decent. Just the Alfa Romeos in general have looked quite decent. We should have updates to the car, if not for the next race, and certainly the one after that. So hopefully that'll sort of move us back up the order a little bit as Magnussen is fighting with Alonso. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. It's not either of our guys. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a safety car. Now, one thing that is a little bit of caution, I suppose, is that both our guys, and they weren't the only ones by any means, but they were locking up quite a bit and running wide in free practice. Now, some of that could be down to just the fact the engine and the gearbox are absolutely shot to pieces. So let's hope that's the case. New parts on the car, that it will be an improvement. But bit of a DRS train for both cars here, it looks like. So we'll see how this race develops. Oh no, Sargeant, what have you done? He's done that again. He was doing so well. It's a virtual safety car. It's too early in the race, I think. He's going to basically be last. I wonder if under the virtual safety car, if we pit him for a medium... No, it's too early. It's too early. It's not going to make any difference to him, I don't think. Oh, Logan. What's he actually done? Logan, other way, mate. What are you doing? Gasly's run wide as well. Yeah, no, there's no point stopping him because he's just going to lose that much time again, be that much further back. Ah, Sargeant. Oh, Sargeant has spun again. Now, was this all him? Yeah, he's got on the curb. It's going to be one of those races for Sargeant, isn't it? Now, I mean, word of caution. I know it's 50-50 with Crawford and Magnussen right now. We're going to have that in both cars next year if we have Sargeant. If we have Sargeant and Magnussen. Oh, he's going to finish last. Well, this is going to help K-Mag, who has really struggled since the safety car, the virtual safety car, but Bottas has spun out of what I think was 4th place, and there goes Magnussen, who is currently, we can see here, he's dropped off the back of Alonso. He's struggling a little bit, so he's sort of in a battle with Vettel in an AlphaTauri, which is not where we want to be, with Sargeant just politely bringing up the rear, making sure everybody's okay. But 5th now for K-Mag. Let's hope he can keep moving forward. Soft tyres to come, of course. Oh, no, back to 6th. Okay, so pit stops are beginning. Pit stops are beginning. Let's slow it down a little bit so we can get an eye of what's happening here. Now, these are the medium-tired runners from the start that have stopped. So K-Mag has gone up to 4th. We can see Norris. Vettel stopped as well. So he's dropped outside the points, though he goes back inside the points now. Yeah, well, Sargeant just not having a good race, is he? But K-Mag 4th. Looks like he's broken the DRS to Ocon. Let's hope he can keep that going, though. Leclerc has already stopped. He is running. He is rapid in this one. He deserves to win it, I think. Oh, and K-Mag has locked up. It's free practice all over again. Well, I mean, it's both drivers. I'm going to say something with the car is just not right. K-Mag back to 6th. In the race, he needed to take advantage of Verstappen's penalties as well. Okay, so we are entering our pit windows. Bottas is pitting out at 10th. We're going to need a safety car in this race to do anything, I think. I mean, soft tyres are going to give us some sort of an advantage. We will pit... yeah, we'll pit on the optimal lap to come in. We'll put on a set of soft tyres. Estimated exit is down there in 15th, which is fine, I suppose. But yeah, it's just not quite been our race, has it? I don't fully understand. I mean, it's a new game, and I don't fully understand games I've played for years, so it doesn't make anybody surprised, I don't think. But I don't fully understand why our cars seem to. If it's both drivers, it's not. It's obviously the car, right? Because I mean, they are actually good drivers, despite what we think sometimes of Logan Sargeant. As in we come. Now let's see where this does indeed bring us back out. So soft tyres on 2.6 seconds. Is that the best stop we've ever done? It's certainly up there. So we come out in 10th, do we? Everybody else's tyres, we will pit this lap, yes, with Logan Sargeant. In you come, mate. I've gone the wrong way on tyres there, but so there's mediums and hards. So we'll see what happens here, won't we? We should be looking decent for a fastest lap, though, I would have thought, with K-Mag. We might even, to try and help things along, now we do want to not be pushing the soft tyres. We might even do a deploy lap and see if we can... just to say, just help matters along here a little bit in terms of getting this fastest lap. So deploy, we'll push. I don't want to risk the tyres because we know they are kind of marginal. But let's have a look here and see. We did a purple sector without trying. Let's see, Sargeant stop. We'll keep an eye down here for that. He is more or less a long last at this point, though. It is a 2.6 seconds again. The boys are looking good. K-Mag's only done a green first sector. Purple middle. Can he finish off the lap now? Let's see what he can do. We're just going to get there with the battery. We'll go back to neutral now. And does he do the fastest lap of the race? He does. So hopefully that is going to be a bonus point now. And a 106.0 is a pretty good lap, I would say, from K-Mag there. Alright, well, annoyingly, Sargeant has nicked the fastest lap off of Magnussen, which we didn't really want him to do, to be honest, because it's just taken a point away from his teammate. But anyway, Magnussen has been closing down very quickly. Vettel, Ocon, and Alonso in front now. Vettel's on the hard tyre, so this should be relatively easy down the back straight here, if we can get it done. not quite. Oh, ideally we would have made that. I probably should have put him on overtake actually, but it should be done next lap. There's still a, laps-wise, a fair way to go, although, it's only just over a minute for a lap, so they do tick off quite quickly. But we don't really have the ERS to get the overtake here, but as I say, with a hard tyre versus soft, it should be a fairly slam-dunk move. There it is there, and we will just deploy down this back straight to make sure that we do indeed not have a Vettel-shaped car coming down the inside of us. And on we go now to Alonso and Ocon, 3 seconds up the road. Multiple cars have crashed. Multiple cars have crashed. Are we going to get a safety car? Surely we are. DRS is still enabled. What has happened? And who has crashed? More importantly, Bottas. It's not going to be a safety car despite a multiple car crash. Well, that's disappointing. Now, Bottas and the Alfa Romeos were... Yeah, Bottas has just got a little bit ambitious. Now, surely they're going to be stuck there. But unfortunately for us, yeah, that's not led to a safety car, which on soft tyres would really, really have helped us out. But yeah, anyway, not to be. So, unfortunately, Magnussen's tyres, he's just not really pulling away from Vettel, and he's certainly not catching the Alpines in front. And with Verstappen in fourth, this is a bit of a hammer blow. It's a race I really did think we could maybe do something in terms of, Vettel with these penalties. As we've run wide with Sargeant, which is not surprising, but what is a little bit annoying is the fact that Vettel has got past with 3 laps to go. I'm not even going to look at the replay. I don't care about it anymore. So what we will try and do here then, with a few laps to go, is we will try and harvest and stay with him with DRS, and then hopefully we will then be able to get use the ERS, the ERS, to get past him and sort of stay past him. And I wonder if we could even do a deploy lap and hope for to get the fastest lap back off of Sargeant, though the tyres have definitely seen better days at this point, so that's maybe a little bit ambitious of us. We need to stay within this second, though, so we need to have a look at that. I don't believe we're in danger of going a lap down, although Leclerc is absolutely flying out in front. We're definitely better on the brakes, aren't we? Still a couple of laps to go after this one. Another yellow flag in Sector 2. Is that going to help us? No. Sonoda runs wide. And I think we're going to come around to start the second last lap. And do we leave it to the last lap and go for fastest lap and everything on the last lap? Let's have a look here. We still have DRS, and that is really closing us back in. And I think what we'll do is, at the end of the straight here, we'll take it off of Harvest, which we don't really need to do now anyway. And then... So this is the last lap just being started now, and then we'll do a deploy lap, I think. We'll start that deploy lap from here. We'll go hard on the tyres, and let's hope we can both get Vettel and also nick back our fastest lap. Here we go. I mean, the fact that we've got him in front of us into turn 1 might ruin the chances of fastest lap. But that should... Yeah, we're not going to get fastest lap because it's only a yellow first sector, although you don't know how yellow it is, I suppose. Now, if we stay in front here, that should be job done, as Leclerc wins a race he thoroughly deserves to win. And is it going to be a yellow second? It's a green. It's a green. Sargeant has finished 17th. It's just been a bit of a disaster for him. But can K-Mag nick back fastest lap? He's going to finish the race 7th, and he doesn't get fastest lap. Disappointing. So, for the first time in a long time, no Haas on the podium. Alonso just holds position. 6 points he gets. Oh no, it was Bottas in the end that nicked fastest lap, 105.6, so we were never going to get that, realistically speaking. 105.7, I'll tell you what, he wasn't far away. Look at how close he was. a tenth of a second away from nicking it on the last lap. But anyway, yeah, that's a bit of a disastrous race all round. We've lost ground to Verstappen despite his penalties. Sargeant is now down to 11th in the championship. And the constructors, well, we actually didn't lose too much to Mercedes, so we're still looking solid. We've pulled out the gap, in fact. So third is still looking doable for us. But there we go. That is it for today. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. If you haven't voted yet for who we have next season, make sure you go and do that on the community page. Just bear in mind, if it's Crawford that's you're voting for instead of K-Mag, we will, that means, have Sargeant and Crawford in the car next year, which could be painful, which maybe you want. Maybe pain is good sometimes. All right. I think France is next. It might be Hungary. It might be something else. I'm not sure. Take care.